is the difference between being insensitive and being centered? Both are not affected by outer circumstances.
How you know both are not affected by outer circumstances?
Because if you're insensitive, then that means many things you cannot feel it. And then if you are centered, means you are centered in yourself, and when there's anything outside, you still remain centered also.
What do you mean by centered in yourself?
Your energy is not running outside.
The word being centered is a confusing word. It looks as if you have become like a solid rock. So it is better to say a person who has become conscious. A person who has come to know that he is the very consciousness. That is his very nature. He is centered in the self. He has become centered. These things looks as if he has become something like a rock. Or it looks like he has become very egoistic. Or he has become very cruel. A person who is insensitive is a dead person. He is moving towards rock, being a rock. He is moving towards being a potato, a stone. A person who is in search of truth is the most sensitive person. So how you say they are both same? They are both diametrically opposite. Only a person who is very, very, very sensitive, very compassionate, very kind-hearted, can go into the search of truth. Otherwise, you will be satisfied with the science, because if you are having only a very developed left brain and you have no heart, then science is enough for you. Only a person who is touched by everything, whose heart is very alive, it is not dead, who is full of love for everything, who is a very loving person, very sweet and feminine kind of person, goes in the search of truth. If you are little lower than that, then you will be satisfied with creating music. You will become a great musician. You can become a great dancer. You can become a great writer. But meditation means that you have certain understanding that life is one. Life is not divided. And you have understood that if I can solve my problem, that will be the solution for all. Because whatever is my nature, whatever is my self-nature, is the nature of all. So only I can be of help only if I have found the solution for myself. If I have come to a state where I have become totally contented, where I have become blissful, where I have become ecstatic, where all my problems have disappeared, only then I can be of any help. that kind of person is from the very beginning. He is an evolved person. He is from the very beginning, has this inkling within him, is this it may be vague, but it may not be very clear, but he knows that life is connected. We are interdependent. And my consciousness and your consciousness is not separate. The problem of human being is not different. We have the same mind, we have the same emotions, same thinking process. So if I can be the master of my own emotion, if I can be master of my own thinking process, if I am not ruled by my own emotions, moods and feeling and my thoughts, then only I can be of any help to anyone. If you are trembling within, if your mirror of the consciousness is trembling, the picture will not be clear. So then you cannot see thing as it is. So that kind of person who is very sensitive, who is very loving, he tries to find out the solution for himself first, because until and unless I am all right, I cannot be of any help to anyone else. Until and unless I am healed or I am healthy, until and unless my psychology is not sick, or I have gone beyond the psychology, I have gone beyond the mind or beyond emotions, I cannot be of any help. But once he has come to know himself, his heart is not dead. These things are still there. He is touched by whatever is happening. But he has something within him which remains untouched. Because consciousness, by its very nature, is just like mirror. It will reflect everything. But once the things are reflected as it is, then you can find the solution also. Why you are disturbed emotionally? Why thoughts have a mastery over you? Why all the time thoughts are hovering around you? So, to compare those who are insensitive with those who are conscious is a very stupid thing. These people are the least evolved. And those who want to reach to a state where nothing affects them, they want to go back to becoming a potato or a rock. But that is not knowing yourself. Once you come to know that you are the consciousness, then everything else is there. But there is something within you which is like, you are like a watcher on the hill. So whatever is below it, you can see it. But the watcher on the hill is not affected by other things. But then that person can see that how to bring emotion to a cool state. How to be in a state where thoughts are no longer thoughts are not troubling me. So, you have something more, not that you have lost everything. It's not that once you come to know yourself, you have become handicapped. If you have become insensitive, and when you use the word being centered, it looks like as if this is a state where you are like a solid rock. It is more a state like the water, the flowing water, which is very soft. A Buddha is more like a flower than being like a stone. A man who goes in the search of truth, really if he goes in the search of truth, he is a man who is like for a long time he is in great pain, he is in great suffering. And he sees that there is no solution in the outside world. Whatever others are saying, whatever books are saying, whatever teachers are saying, whatever society is offering, is not a solution at all. Then only he goes in, he tries to see whether there is anything within me or not. Because if I am inside, so all the whatever others are saying, they are all on the surface, they are all not in the depth. In the depth is my real nature. So I have to find the solution there. Otherwise, whatever others are saying is all on the surface of the lake or surface of the ocean. I have to dive deep within me. No one from outside can give it to me like a gift. I have to go inside and find. I have to pass through all the suffering, the dark night of the soul. Only then one day it can happen. But he is not certain that whether there is any solution, whether there is anything inside or not. He is just, if there have been other people who says that I have found the solution, so he takes them as a hypothesis, then he starts going in. I was listening to a show just before, about 1 hour before maybe. So he was saying about the hippies in America that it is a good sign. Buddha and Mahavir also were like hippies. But there is a world of difference. These hippies are nowhere near Buddha and Mahavira. These hippies, they just want to break all the laws of society. They want to indulge in sexual orgies, they want to have drugs, they don't want to follow any rules. They are not cultured people, they are not educated people. They just want to live like an animals. They want to break laws. They want that kind of freedom, which is like you want freedom to go down. Buddha and Mahavir, they were very refined people. They were very cultured. They were the most educated people you can imagine. They knew everything. They knew what women is. They had a very refined taste. They knew the best women. They knew the best wine. And they were very educated. They knew music, everything, the best possible. They had all the wealth. They had the best of whatever you can have from the outside. But then it was enough for them. They were not seeking more sex. They were not seeking love from women, which these hippies, they said, don't make war, make love. They are still confined to sex, confined to drug and all those things. They want to escape. Buddha and Mahavira were not interested in escaping from the reality. They wanted to know the truth. They had the quest. They were in search of, is there anything real in this world, or it is all just a mirage? Is it all just a dream? They were burning inside. When Buddha escaped from his palace, leaving his beautiful wife and just newborn son, then the charioteer who was with him, he said that what you are doing a very stupid thing. You are leaving that which everyone is desiring. You have the best woman with you. You have a child, you have all the wealth, you will become the king. What you are doing? It's most idiotic. Buddha said, where you are seeing pleasure, where you are seeking, where you are seeing that it is the treasure, there I can see all the troubles. For me, it is like a house in fire. For you, it is a palace. For me, it is like being on the bed of thorn. He had this quest. He saw the sick man, and he felt that when you are going to become sick, it may take few years, but this sickness, if it is a reality, then this sickness is going to happen. One day you will grow old. So what is the point in wasting time in indulgence, in pleasure, in all kind of escapes? When this is going to happen, then you have to gather all your energy in some significant search. Is there any meaning in life or not? And when he saw the dead body, then he found that this is the ultimate thing. You are going to die. All your pleasure, all your wives and children and all your wealth, these are all going to disappear. Once you are dead, everything is gone. So when death is going to come, it may come after 50 years, 70 years, but it is going to come. You have very limited time. You are not going to be here for eternity, not even for 200 years. If there is no accident, you will live maximum 80, 90. But as you grow old, your energy start declining. You are like you are going up, now you are going down. So, and then he saw the sannyasin, and he asked his charioteer, what kind of man is this? He said he is a man in search of truth. They are called sannyasins. So then he was going to inaugurate a youth festival. Then Buddha said, just turn back the chariot. And the charioteer said that, but you had to go for the youth festival to inaugurate it. He said, now, if this is the end of life, now I have already become old. Now there is no youth festival for me. Until and unless I find some remedy, some solution for this problem. He was not a man, not a selfish, very third-rate, unevolved kind of person who was only looking for his own liberation. He saw that life is suffering. That is why the first noble truth is life is suffering. So he was like a scientist. He saw that their life in the kind of life we are living, in the kind of inner ignorance, the kind of inner darkness we are in, we all only create suffering. Even if you have all the wealth, even if you have all the beautiful women, that also creates only suffering for you, because you are not conscious. When you are a blind person, when there is inner darkness, when you are not conscious, when the light is not within you, then whatever you have will create only suffering for you. So he didn't went for in search just because he was a selfish man who wanted to find liberation for himself. He understood that if there is a solution, if there is any solution, it will be for everyone. Or if there is nothing beyond all these pleasure and all these sense pleasure, then life is just meaningless. It looks as if he went only for his own personal liberation, which is what most of the idiots say, that he was a selfish man. He left, he just escaped. It was his duty to take care of his wife and his children. But these people are very narrowed. Their consciousness is very narrow. They think that only your wife and your children is the whole world. But for Buddha, the whole world was a family. When he was touched by this sick man suffering, when he saw someone dying, he saw that my father will also die. That is what he asked. Is my mother or my father there? His mother was already dead, but is my father also going to die, and his stepmother and his wife? So it shows very clearly that Buddha was not only concerned about himself. And that kind of man can never know truth. One can have illusion. If your heart is dead, then from where the energy will come? From where the fire will come? Only a person who is full of love, who is very alive person, very vibrant. He is not a computer, he is not a dead man. His brain is not dead. Only that kind of man can go in search of truth. Why a person who is in such a pleasurable situation, who has all the luxury, will go to jungle and suffer all kind of things, and that also for around 6 years. He became just like almost dead in this search. That kind of energy cannot come if you are just seeking your own petty liberation. That's why it is said about Buddha that he is still waiting on the gates of liberation. He says that only when everyone is liberated, I will enter inside. This is just symbolic. But what he said about bodhisattvas, they have found their own liberation. Now they want to help the whole world. That is why he said that compassion is the last bondage of those who have come to know themselves. That compassion may be little impure before. Now it has become very completely pure. So now his only desire, if you can call it desire, is to help others. After his own enlightenment, he lived for more than 40 years maybe. And his whole, what he was doing, each and every moment was dedicated in trying to help others. So those people who think that they will find the truth without any love, without any feeling, without being sensitive, they will never find truth, because they are dead people. Only when you are throbbing with life, only when you have love, and you can find what kind of love he has. He was born in a Kshatriya family, the family of warrior, and everything dropped. He could see life in everything. A person who is enlightened, he cannot even misbehave with the chair. And you see, Mahavira he found that there are being which has one sense organ. Then there are being which has 2 sense organ. In this way, 5 sense organ being is man, human being. And he was so compassionate that he would, even while walking, he will just go on cleaning the place so that no living being is disturbed. He will not even pluck the fruit from the trees. That may look to most of the people being going to two extremes. But for him, he was in such a state that just to fill his own belly, he could not do any violence. These people they have reached to the highest level which you can imagine. Their heart is so loving. You cannot find any mother who has so much love. This kind of stupid and idiotic seeing of things, that being insensitive is anywhere being near to being a Buddha, or they are similar, is our inability to see things as it is, because we are in such a suffering, because we are all the time trembling, we want to escape from this. So we think that maybe they are both same. Once you have become insensitive, then nothing touches you. Nothing affects you. And if you become enlightened, or if you become centered, then also nothing will touch. So you want to be like a stone. You want to be like a rock. But being evolved, being an enlightened person is not being a robot. He is the furthest away from machine. Is it clear?
If you like our videos, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
And send us one apple a day, because we want to eat food from the tree of knowledge.